Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to learn a chord melody. We're going to tackle the great jazz standard, My Funny Valentine. There are many incredible versions of this beautiful piece of music, but my two standouts would be the Chet Baker one and the Ella Fitzgerald version. As always with my chord melodies, we're going to be drawing our inspiration from many different places here, and that's always the important thing. When you tackle a piece of music and want to turn it into a chord melody, make sure you do your homework and listen to lots of different versions of it. Get those ears really cultured and acclimatized to the piece at hand. So our first part of the melody. C minor, and we're thinking about this line cliche kind of movement, where you can track the root note moving down in semitones until it reaches the sixth. C minor major 7, C minor 7, C minor 6. We're trying to keep some element of that at play here while we chase the melody around on the B string. We started with a simple C minor triad, C minor major 7 with a flat 3 in the bass, C minor 7, C minor 6, 9. Now we go to an A flat major triad, trace the melody along the B string again, F minor 11, F minor 7, follow that melody, D minor 7 flat 5, G7 with a flat 9. That would be a 2, 5 in the key of C minor, of course, and that's where we're heading back to here. And that's the A section already done. Now I barely feel the need to tell you this because I think it's so obvious, but just in case, make sure you really know the chord changes before you tackle a chord melody. Learn the basic accompaniment for these tunes. I've included a basic chord chart for this in with the lesson materials, and I do really recommend practicing that. As always, my extremely thorough lesson materials are available to download at the links in the description. I have a Patreon where for just 10 quid a month you get access to all of my lesson materials. Crazy value for money. But if you just want this one lesson in particular, it'll cost you a £5 at the Gumroad link. Either way, it's your support that makes these videos possible, so thank you. I won't do the whole thing, but here's the A section with the basic changes. Hey Louis, getting cozy in bed I see. Some of us are hard at work here, buddy. Now for the B section, again we're going to have that line cliche through the C minor chords, but the melody climbs a little higher, so we're going to find a new way to do it this time. We're going to start with this regular C minor chord voicing. Now keep everything ringing out while you move the little finger, and then grab that top note courtesy of the barring finger. Now bring the second finger to the G string. Don't disrupt this little finger, by the way. Second finger is now playing the major 7th. So there's your bond chord, the C minor major 7. C minor 7 now. And then we're going to do something that's a little bit awkward. We're going to play this. This is a 3-note voicing. It's like a C minor 6 kind of sound again. You got the root, skip the A string, grab the 6th, grab the 11 or the sus4. And you might want to hybrid pick that, or just make sure you're good at dampening the middle strings and try and strum through it. So we go to the A flat major next, and we do that with a simple 3-note voicing, an A flat major triad in first inversion, and then a B flat 6 chord. Lift the melody up a whole tone after that, and then this beautiful voicing, F minor. Well, it's an F minor 7 with the 13 on top, so it's like an F minor 13 kind of sound. I love that voicing. Then we follow this descending melody, F minor 11, passing note, A flat minor 9, and I've gone for that dissonant voicing I use so often. It's a bit of a Barney Kessel kind of vibe. A flat minor triad on top, put the 9 down low. Now while that rings, we then fill in this A string 6th fret to give us a bit of an alternating bass feel between the 9 and the 5. Now to represent our B flat 7 chord, we're simply going to grab a B flat major triad, string set 2, root position, and then move down a whole tone and adapt the shape slightly. Bar the top string also. This is a B flat 13 with a flat 9. Beautiful, especially when you hear it resolve. The way we're going to play it, we're going to focus on the top 4 strings, which means we can finger it this way, which gives us then the ability to grab the next melody note without disrupting anything. And then resolve to the 1, E flat 6 9. That's the top 4 strings of this shape that we've used so often in my other chord melodies. So we're going from 5 to 1. And that's the beginning of the C section. Now we've already played beat 1 of our C section, E flat 6 9. Now we play the melody and then harmonize it with that major triad again from earlier, the A flat over C. Then the melody drops a semitone. Now you've got a really nice voicing for like a B flat 7, but with the 9 in the bass. And then resolve to E flat 6, but with the 5th in the bass. And then we play this. 2 notes, 4 on the B, 7 on the G. Now the melody climbs this time. We're barring the top 4 strings at the 8th fret. Again, it's like an E flat 6, just 1 octave above this voicing. Pick out the note on the G string again. This time, as a variation, rather than doing this, we're going to play B flat 7 with a sus4, and then resolve to an E flat major triad with the 5th in the bass. Same 2-note melody again. Again, the melody then climbs further. This would be like an E flat major 7 this time. So we're exploring different types of E flat major each time. 6 9, 6, major 7. Now we want to suggest G7. We're going to do it with a G augmented triad. So that's the 3rd, the root, and the sharpened 5th. So we're kind of implying this. And that's going to take us to our C minor 7. C minor 7 3-note voicing. Now overall at this moment we're in the key of A flat major. We're about to embark on what would have started life as a 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. But we're going to throw in some very typical tritone movement to create this really smooth chromatic bass run. And along the way the melody climbs, so we get this beautiful expansion of sound. Kind of stretchy at the end there, but with the correct training and daily practice you'll get that no problem. C minor 7 3-note voicing, B7 3-note voicing, B flat minor 7 with the B string included, A7 as a tritone sub for the E flat 7. Now keep this top note but bar the top E string and move everything else down a semitone, and you get this really rich voicing for A flat major 7. Then again we're getting our head up here and we're seeing that we're about to embark on the D section, which will kick off with the C minor movement again. So we think, okay, we're going to 2-5-1 our way into that C minor. We need a D minor 7 flat 5, which is going to play the lower 3 notes of this common 4-note voicing. And then G7 flat 9 again, but with the B string included this time. Now to start the D section we find our C minor chord, but we find it way down low here. So this is just a C minor triad with the root doubled on top. Trace the melody along the G string and then drop the bass note a semitone and keep following that melody. So this time our line cliche is happening way down low in the bass. And remember, it's as simple as finding the root somewhere in your chord and shifting it down in semitone increments. This part of the melody can be a little tricky. C minor with the flat 7 in the bass, so a C minor 7. Now keep as much of that in place as you can while you grab the melody either side of that core in the middle of the shape. Then we're utilising the open A string to get that next stop along in our line cliche progression. C minor 6. Then we're going to grab that massive A flat major 7 voicing from earlier, and then follow the melody along with octaves on strings 1 and 3, and then drop that octave back a semitone and fill in around it to create this F minor 6 voicing, 3-note voicing here, and the 6th doubled up on top. Trace the melody along, now harmonise it as part of a G7 flat 9 chord. Then again we're going to go for that 3-6-2-5 progression down to A flat, but using tritone substitution along the way, and we're using the top 4 strings. So C minor 7, B7, B flat minor 11, and then this is a great voicing. A7 with a flattened 5th, root, 3rd, flat 7, 9, flat 5, and that resolves down to A flat 6, 9. That fancy A9 flat 5 voicing sounds especially good if you use a reverse rake to hit it. Now we move this voicing up a whole tone, and then grab the next melody note as part of an E diminished chord. Really this is functioning as C7 flat 9. And then F minor 7, 3rd inversion, so that's flat 7, flat 3, 5th and root. And then we grab a single melody note before moving down to a D diminished 7th, which this time is functioning as a B flat 7 flat 9, and then resolve that to the 1, E flat major, with a simple C shape, root 3, 5, root, just like your C major chord dragged out of the water. So you're getting this little 2, 5, 1 in the key of E flat at the very end there. And that's it for our chord melody. Now, one thing that I think is essential when you practice this is to do it very slow with a metronome and really get used to leaving all of that space. It should feel so deep it's almost cavernous. This piece needs that space to really breathe. On the plus side, that gives you more time to focus on good tone with your chords as well. So make sure you've got no blocked notes, and make sure that every note you want to hear is truly being heard. Neatness, slowness, and patience are critical, super important things. So to close out, I'm just going to go over what I'm using today. This is my 1958 ES175. It's a fantastic guitar, aside from the annoying little rattles here and there. And I'm plugged into my 1969 Fender Deluxe Reverb amp. All original, aside from the speaker, which I swapped out to one of those Eminence Alessandro 12-inch speakers. And for both the lesson and the performance, I use the same plectrum, a blue chip STP60. So do let me know down in the comments if you have any questions at all. I'm always very quick to answer. And do check out that Patreon link. I think you'll like what you see there. Also, please do like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it makes a huge impact on me and the success of this channel, and therefore the future of this channel. So as always, it's been a pleasure to spend some time with you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and join me again next week for something completely different. Take care.